Hey, gang. Thursday. Mysterious deaths, measles, and Trump doesn't care. Is that for an intro? It's almost already, and that happened. Hey, Lotus. Why? These people join on Instagram and they leave right away. Why? Why even join? So there'll be some construction in the background. Like I said earlier, mom and dad got here Tuesday evening for 3 weeks. We're working on getting the house figured out, really. From what was it now, Helene, and figuring out which are we going to build up, are we going to demolish and build up, where are we going to go, and that's what Dad and I are working on later today. But he's actually working now, getting other aspects of the house better livable. Measles death. We had the first one of those in a while in Texas. Go figure. And I say go figure because I'm learning that it is in a Christian school district. Not that that's a bad thing, but no vaccination, no belief in vaccination. And here is a proven, hey, Jonathan, shout out to Jonathan on Instagram. Here is a provenly curable disease, illness, whatever, with a simple vaccine that is, again, let's say it, proven to work. And here we are in this conservative, far right market area that's going to pray away the diseases. It worked. Your prayer was answered. It was a vaccine. And because of your political ignorance, your kid's dead. We're not talking about the COVID vaccine that was rushed and quickly, briefly tested. We're talking about one that's been used for decades and is proven. And now the kid's dead. Speaking of dead, Gene Hackman and his wife were found yesterday, along with their dog, in what appears to be some sort of sudden death with no foul play indicated, according to the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department. It sounds like, and this is all speculation, and that's why I want to talk about it, because it's being speculated. And I want to prevent you from getting too far into that during a time when it's nothing but speculation. But it sounds like carbon monoxide poisoning. It was the first thing I said to my dad when I learned about it. It's what other news outlets are speculating, but that's all that it is. Pay your respects to him. Give us a call. Tell him what your favorite movie is. Phone lines are open. They're on the bottom of the screen. 1-888-88-YERGS. 844-GAY-LGBT. 99.1 WDJY. America One Radio. WZQR in Pineland. Radio X in Perth, Australia. Rainbow Radio, Yergs Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. Also today, we've had the first cabinet meeting with a cabinet member that's not in the cabinet. Of course, you know that's Elon Musk, and what do you call him? Like his money ship? He's not royalty. We don't have that, although he's acting like it. Trump certainly isn't a president because he's not acting like it. He's worried about getting pilots fired from some crash or near crash in Chicago, when he's already fired half the FAA, probably the cause of these crashes. But none of that has anything to do with anything. Meanwhile, just a subtle reminder, none of these crashes happened during the Biden administration. Now, I was not a fan of Biden back in 2020. There were issues during his presidency, whether it was health, mental capacity, whatever it was. But we were heads and shoulders safer and better than now. Usually you ask that question after 4 years. The maggots of the world still are. They're saying that they're better. Maybe stop watching the 27 or whatever she is year old kid on the White House briefings and start getting actual news. I listened to that the other day. That was literally a joke. None of the stats she gave were close to accurate. But I mean, I've always told you about stats and that you can do anything you want to do with stats. After all, 100% of all murderers once drank milk. Doesn't bode well for the dairy industry. But it's a true statistic. Doesn't mean it's worth anything. Just like her statistics, not really sure that they're worth anything. I can make this one bigger. I'm sorry, I'm adjusting things on the desk. So first up, Gene Hackman, 95 years old. And that's today's Pierce Pot. I mean, Superman, probably the first one I've seen him in. I was only born the year that The French Connection came out. Hoosiers, Unforgiven, Birdcage, just diversity from comedic to serious. Usually a villain of sorts. Birdcage, kind of, sort of. Go figure, a Republican right-winged congressman or senator. Lex Luthor. Tiny or whatever his name was, and no, that was Skinny was the bar. He was the sheriff in Unforgiven. Kind of a rough cop in The French Connection. But great at what he did. Was found dead Wednesday afternoon with his wife in their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, along with a dog. Again, no foul play has been detected. That's according to Santa Fe Sheriff's Department. And as always, we'll have our links in today's show notes saying where we got that from. Various media outlets have said it sounds like carbon monoxide poisoning. That is all they have. There's no other indication as to what that could have been or what it was. He was 95. She was, I think, 32 years younger. My mom actually looked that up earlier. I think that's what she told me. So that would make her 63. She was a pianist. That was a combination of pianist and piano player. I don't like pianist. I just don't like that word. She was a concert piano player. No idea what breed the dog was. But rest in peace to all three. Got to take a break. It's 11:13. It is, let's see, let's do the clock thing here. It's 3:13 in Melbourne and Sydney. 12:13 in Perth, 17:13 in Berlin, 4:13 in London, and there's time. 4:13 in London, 11:13 here in Tampa, 8:13 on the west coast of the U.S. We'll be back. Let's pull it up. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. There we go. All right. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Up the Middle on the Mastiff Media Network.
What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum.
Rumble. We are fair and balanced here. And that's why not only are we on YouTube, but we are on. I wonder where Ken's at today. Not only are we on YouTube, but we're on Rumble. Why? Because we are even keel here. Fair and balanced, left and right. Go to rumble.com/register/Yergz Media. YERGZ Media. That is what we were, remember, before we were Mastiff Media. I wanted to get rid of the name and do something original. Mastiff Media, but go to rumble.com/register/Yergz Media to sign up for your Rumble account. Remember, when I tell you that it's necessary to do your homework, part of which a good intelligence officer will get that intelligence from multiple sources. A good journalist will do the same. A good voter will be no different. Go to rumble.com/register/Yergz Media. Get your account today and use that for us so that we know that we're having an influence on you and a positive influence on you, obviously, but also so we can track what affiliates are getting a response from our listeners and viewers. Again, that's rumble.com/register/Yergz Media. All right, so we talked about Gene Hackman. We talked about, well, we didn't finish talking about, but I got to find where this one is. Give me a second. All right, so this up according to Reuters. More than 130 outbreaks in Texas, mostly among kids. Again, this is something that's preventable. It's just a matter of whether or not you're doing it. Started in a rural Mennonite community, southwest of Lubbock. Child who died was not vaccinated, and health officials say more cases are expected. Don't know what else to tell you, gang. I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm not blaming the kid at all. Obviously, he or she, it's not saying the sex of the kid. But died overnight at the Children's Hospital, according to the Texas Health Department. Knowing them, I'm surprised we know about it at all. Amy Thompson, the CEO of the Covenant Children's Hospital, said, "We have had so many kids coming in, and then obviously we were not prepared. Probably so early in what we were seeing to have a death." Well, not sounds, Amy, like you weren't the only one that wasn't prepared. Unfortunately. During a cabinet meeting on Wednesday, Robert F. Kennedy, a vaccine critic, has confirmed as Secretary of Health and Human Services earlier this month, said 2 people had died in the Texas outbreak. His Department of Health and Human Services later corrected Kennedy, confirming it was only 1 death. So he didn't even know. Oh, this is painful. Ken's actually sent me something here. He doesn't even know. They've got 120 some. He says, if I can see a link.
You're just going to do the sexist thing all of the time.
Something about Jesse Waters. I'm actually going to start taking a better look at some of the. Right now, I just think so many of the conservative outlets.
Do I say, sure, fine? Where do you want to go?
Another one with Jesse Waters. We'll talk about that in a second. But to finish up on, yes, Ken, if you're listening, both those links that you sent me earlier are working. Thanks. I'll reply to you, and I don't see you on. So, $124 people known in West Texas since February. All but 5 are unvaccinated. Most of them children who really don't have a say in the matter because their parents are leading them in that uneducated direction. An additional 9 cases were announced on Tuesday in northeastern New Mexico, near the Texas state line, where the outbreak was spread to about 10 counties. Patients have displayed symptoms such as high fever, red watery eyes, nasal congestion, cough, and a rash. It begins in the face. Children have been treated with supplemental oxygen, high flow oxygen, medication for fever, and IV fluids. New Mexico's health department has warned that because measles is so contagious, additional cases are likely to occur. Well, at least they're getting that part right. U.S. death rate from measles, which spreads through the air by respiratory droplets from coughing or sneezing, sound familiar? Is 1 to 3 deaths out of every 1,000 reported cases, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention. The U.S. measles death case was, the last U.S. measles death was in 2015, according to the CDC. Spokesperson for the Texas Department of Health Services was not available to Reuters for comment, but the agency said in a press release that 18 people were hospitalized with the disease. The CDC and the Department of Health and Human Services, shocker, did not respond to Reuters' requests for comment. Again, that story came to us from Reuters. This ain't that hard. Those are solid vaccines. There is no reason why you should not be getting them. Tell you a quick story about a friend of mine who's not too long ago, a couple of years ago, sadly passed away. Steve is a friend of mine at the Secret Service. Steve Woodard was his name. Was a friend at the Secret Service. He was the one constantly being told by our then director that the director was going to promote him into a up from the higher than position than what he already had. Kept getting told, kept passed over, kept being told, kept being passed over. A position at FEMA come along. And this is back when it still had the not so good reputation. Position at FEMA comes along, he takes it, retires from good service, and now, instead of knowing the director is on a multi-agency call, getting briefings, he's the guy on the call with the director, high-level bosses. And he was asked, he said, "Hey, why'd you leave? I was going to promote you." And he flat out said, "You were going to promote me 3 or 4 times, and you promoted somebody else, or myself." And he's the guy that basically took FEMA from the bad rap that it had during the Bush administration, the horse guy or whatever, the guy that does horse shows, and straightened it out for free. He was there at least. It was a badass agency. Then left that position. So now he's got 2 pensions coming. And took a job for the city of Jacksonville. Essentially doing the same thing, but at a level. This was right, if you remember, a number of years back when hosted the Super Bowl, and they put all the cruise ships out on the docks to be temporary hotels. He was the guy doing the FEMA of sorts for Jacksonville. And kicked ass. I'm telling you all that because he's one of my more conservative friends. Jacksonville's a conservative city. He was conservative in his own personal beliefs. But even he was pro-vaccine and pro-science. And really, he always told me, get your flu shot. I didn't do it. I got it pretty bad the other week. You remember that. So, about each year's flu shot, because it's built off of last year and what's affecting the rest of the world by the time that gets to us in our flu season. Measles. I mean, come on. You can say what you want about COVID. I've had COVIDs and boosters. I've had COVID 3 times. These shots do not necessarily prevent you from getting the respective diseases, especially COVID. And that's what's not believed or known by the ignoramus of MAGA. They think that they're bulletproof at that point. Many of these shots do nothing more than lessen the symptoms so they can more easily be combated with medication and not ivermectin. But measles, influenza, and so many other that have been around to a point where some of them aren't even given anymore. That it's like once when you're a baby and that's it. Polio. I don't know if I got that, to be honest. She's busy. So, and Steve is like, yes, you need to get these vaccines. They're wrenched on every year and redesigned for what's hitting society. But here we go. I mean, I gave you the stats. I got to stop that. That's not helping. I gave you the stats. And turn that off. And yeah, I think that's a good time for a break. Go get your vaccines. You're listening to Up the Middle or watching from the Massive Media Network. I got to take a break. We'll be back with what's next. What's next? Oh, Trump and all the things he's ignoring. I couldn't get my screen to show my videos. All right, we'll be back after this.
What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum.
Let me know if you commercial curly momentum at Momentum Fitness and Wellness, but I think there's something wrong with Restream actually, that it's not working. But and then I can't play music. There. Yergs on Cameo. This whole system's delaying. There we go. Go to cameo.com. What is it? Cameo.com/Yerg/book, I think. Let me see something. Yeah. Cameo.com/Yerg/book. Parties for inspiration. If you want to give me want me to give you a famous on the phone ass chewing, whatever you need, go to cameo.com/Yergs/book, and I'll send you a message, video, audio, all of it together. I gotta fix this here. Cameo.com/Yergs/book, and I'll send you a message of birth, new job, school, tests, inspiration, pep talk. Kind of the same thing, I guess. Whatever you need, I'll answer questions if within reason. There's some things I can't answer, but let me be the judge of that. Go ahead and ask your question, and if possible, I'll give you an answer. Cameo.com/Yergs/book. All right, so T-Rump. That I'm working on. It's like real slow response. And it's not my computer because everything else is fast. It's a Restream. All right, so let's get that out. Oh, by the way, there's a QR code cameo.com/Yerg/book. And there he is. Ken checking in. Also, Crow Eel's my biggest fan. Joining us from Twitch. Hey, man. Welcome. So Trump and company have had first cabinet meeting where, they're because that's what they're there to do. We call them secretaries of the cabinet. But I learned on a call today, my Thursday morning call for podcasters, creators, and makers. Biden. Musk's actual approval is at like 12%. And all of these town halls that have been within the past week or so, maybe, the congressmen go in with this effort to tell their constituents how great all of President Trump's decisions and executive orders are. And immediately, everybody starts booing. Remember last week, I got to adjust something here. Last week, we were talking about that on Friday. And Blake wouldn't believe that it was, had anything to do really with the actual demographic of the community. Dude, these are Republican strongholds where we're seeing this. So he's basically trying to win an argument is all he's doing, in my opinion. And have much other than, here's the story I got this one meeting from. I wish I'd known that these were happening literally all over. The Democrats in the meeting, my own congressman had a meeting of sorts. Of course, nobody knew about it until after it was over and covered in the news, where he intentionally invited once. And nobody was happy. You see the Trump administration, and you see the congressman, they try to say, oh, he sent this executive order and it's so awesome. Boo. And that executive order and it's so boo. They already know what's coming. And they're not fans. And some of these are Democrats. I had one. I wanted to play one the other day, and I missed it. It was. So I don't know where the. I don't know where the. I don't know where the which video it was. Ken sent it to me, or who may have done it, or if I sent it to myself. I don't see it in Ken's chat here. I got another one from Ken that I got queued up. That's the one with Jesse Waters. We can put that on. But essentially, we're starting to see some magateers of sorts, even if it's only that, or like smaller demographics within that movement. But let's did I miss it? Oh, no, there we go. Wow, this is slow. It's really slow. Well, you know what? Could be I left my computer on all night last night. That could be it too. But let's see what Jesse Waters has to say. that's the one. Okay.
That can help veterans. Make sure veterans are represented. And also, you know what? I just thought of it. You know what we're going to call it? WEI. Hey, shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. This is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond.
Okay, don't give me the work from home Friday works. I call a lot of people on Friday. They're not a person to get a hold of.
You know, the kinds of people that'll be asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Today's nominee, Fox News' Jesse Waters.
Now,
Shocker.
Harold and his ilk like to talk about the slash and burn corporate ethos. We just need to be a little, hey, Harold, we talk about doging people. Okay, I want that to sink in.
Now that sounded reasonable, you know, for him to say, let's be callous. I don't see why we would drag him for that. Oh yeah, you new to the channel. You don't know Jesse. Keep watching. Just keep watching. Hey, Jesse Waters. This you?
Thousands of bureaucrats woke up today to a big, you're fired. 1,000 workers at the VA, fired. 2,000 workers at the Department of Energy, fired. 3,000 workers at the U.S. Forest Service, fired. And 1/10 of the CDC was fired too. It's all happening over Zoom. Gone, fired, and are made to evacuate the building in 30 minutes.
It happened over Zoom. Why did they have to come to the building? So you mean you made me take a shower, put in my cologne from Christmas, drive all the way down there, get on a Zoom meeting to be fired. Is what you? Because it seems like when you want to minimize the potential for that would be maximizing the potential for incident.
Elon just called himself the weed killer.
We do need to delete entire agencies as opposed to leave part of them behind. It's kind of like if leaving a weed. If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back.
Hey, MAGA, yeah, all y'all affected by Doge, yeah, they just called y'all weeds. Weeds. They want whoever's doing sound over at Fox News.
Delete entire agencies.
I heard that echo.
Musk says, how many agencies do you really need to run the country? 99? Not 450, that's for sure. Artist. And the government's his new pet project. The world's richest man's been...
We're not going to do all 29 minutes of this thing, but here's the problem with that. You've got somebody in doing that with an ego, not with experience that's worth anything. Oh, he's done plenty of firings himself. That's why he and T-Rump get along so well. And that's one of the ones he's best known for is when he first took over a takeover of Twitter and first brought one of the senior employees in to Joe Rogan to bread and butter him up to later use him to get his other stooge, Trump, elected. And he brings this girl into Joe Rogan to fire her on the air with Joe Rogan. And of course, Joe Rogan, being the moral midget that he is, he let that go out and it's on the episode and whatever else. Of course, now, by the way, he's backpedaling and is no longer a Trump fan. Too late, dude. But government is not a business. It is not run to be in profit. It is run to protect and serve, to provide the common defense, promote the general welfare. Got any idea where that's from? All of you knuckleheads putting "We the People" on your Facebook cover photos and other places you don't even know what it means. That's part of that same paragraph. It's from the preamble of the Constitution. Nowhere in that preamble does it say the government should be making a profit. In fact, if we were really worried about making a profit, we wouldn't be, that put us further into debt or cut programs that we don't like do. See how that's working? Have you seen a pattern yet? Some of these guys that join on Twitch that just trying to get their bots. And when we come back, Musk drama. There was actually something I had. I keep doing this. I'm sorry. There was actually something that I had that was. Let me see it in my. If I send itself, I'm actually going to get pretty good at that. At least. Where am I? There we go. Oh, yeah. We can do some monitoring MAGA. Not just tracking Trump, but monitoring MAGA. We come back, courtesy of celebrity photographer Pat Lee, in the congressman that didn't get arrested. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, WZQR, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after this.
What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum.
Hi, gang. I think, let me know in the chat if you heard that whole commercial. I think the whole thing needs to probably be rebooted right now. But fortunately, we're wrapping up. How do I get this here? Oh, it's just an image? Okay. Well, then that's easy. There we go. Okay, so this is from a friend of mine. He's a celebrity fitness photographer, a man by the name of Pat Lee. Some of you have probably seen probably drooled over plenty of his photos of hot muscle guys. Hold on. Here we go. This is Pat's post, something he got from NBC4 in Washington, D.C. Update on an issue that we actually talked about briefly last week. The DC an arrest warrant on Rep. Corey Mills to U.S. Attorney's Office on Friday. It was Friday of last week. It has not been signed, and back to them for further investigation. Sources at the department said it never resulted in any charges. If you remember, Congressman, Corey Mills had an alleged assault at his place on the waterfront in southwest or southeast DC. And Sam D replies, let me get this straight. A Republican congressman beat up the woman he had an affair with, not his wife, which, not that that's okay, but a woman that he was cheating on his wife with. Police are ready to arrest him, but they can't because a Republican president's Republican U.S. attorney refuses to enforce the law against a Republican congressman. Anybody still think that we have that democratic republic that we're supposed to have? Anybody still think that that should maybe stop with my paper on a transition to a dictatorship and the comparison to Hitler and the Third Reich? And we get this. I don't know what to tell you, gang. I mean, let's just for giggles see what else is out there. So the Associated Press say they're still investigating. Rachel Maddow's on top of the controversy, of course. Let's read this one first. Tab, sorry. Everything's going real slow today. Mills has served as a representative for Florida's 7th District since 2023, so he's a newbie. He expressed interest in running for the Senate, previously held by Marco Rubio. The incident happened around 1 p.m. on Wednesday at a penthouse and luxury apartment building in D.C. A police report obtained by local news station News 4 detailed the alleged attack on a 27-year-old woman. The male grabbed her, shoved her, and pushed her out the door. According to Metropolitan D.C. police, who observed bruises on the arm which appeared fresh. The suspect, later identified by officials as Mills, allegedly told police that the situation at the argument went from verbal to physical. He said it was severe enough to create bruising, according to the report. I think that's the officer speaking. The woman, who remains unidentified, told News 4 on Thursday that she contacted law enforcement to address a personal matter. Although the argument was emotionally charged, there was no physical abuse involved, according to this woman. I don't know. Maybe was she paid off too? That seems to be a running theme with this side. She said the bruises were from medical conditions and activities from a recent overseas trip. A second police report obtained by the outlet said the incident was a family disturbance and there was no probable cause for arrest. The third report said police responded to a report on an assault and the incident is under investigation. So that was the other thing that MPD is dealing with, is that there's 3 separate reports for one incident. MPD told News 4 that an arrest warrant was sent to the U.S. Attorney's Office on Friday, but has not been signed. Mills represented the 7th District in the House of Representatives since 2023. He's married and has 2 children. He served in the U.S. Army from 1999 to 2003, served in Iraq in 2003, and received a Bronze Star. He founded risk management and consulting for PACEM Solutions International LLC and a private security company, PACEM, whatever that stands for, Defense. Looks like some sort of acronym. He is also the co-founder of the ALS Less Lethal Systems, a company that manufactures equipment for military and law enforcement. He was appointed to the Defense Business Board in 2020. His office, in a statement to NBC, said this week law enforcement was asked to resolve a private matter at Congressman Mills' residence. Congressman Mills vehemently denies any wrongdoing whatsoever and is confident any investigation will clear this matter quickly. No arrests have been made. As the investigation into Mills continues, MPD is also investigating its handling of the incident. Yeah, 3 separate reports for one incident usually creates discrepancies like we've got. And that's it. But yeah, the gentleman who made the point about, where'd it go? That was that one of the other tabs, I think. Pull that back up. I think it was here. Nope. There we go. Let me get this straight. A Republican congressman beat up the woman he was having an affair with, and police are ready to arrest him, but they can't because Trump's appointment refuses to enforce it. Yeah. I think that's about right. We're going to be fast today. We got why is that just now hitting like 54 minutes left? Well, I think we're done with that. All right, gang, tomorrow, Friday Fights, we'll be continuing the fight that we ended the show with and teaching Blake how to share the mic. We're making whatever corrections necessary. Because we're on 3 different continents now. I've talked to another agency today that wants to help us distribute. So, time to monetize, by the way. Get in now. If you know of some sort of company that may want to advertise with us, even if it's not something that needs to be advertised globally or nationally or whatever, we can still price it for geofencing when the geofencing actually is implemented, and they'll just be national until then. It's their benefit. But get them in now so that we can get them in a contract before all that stuff goes up later this spring. If you live in the West Pasco area, go to MySR. Wait, where's it at? Yeah, mysrca.com and get in the Sea Ranch Civic Association. It's a great group. I'm happy to be a part of it. And cut that off too. I'm happy to be a part of it. They've got good events planned, really solid people, and happy to be with them. Capital Switchboard is 202-224-3121. Give your senator a call. Give your congressman a call. Tell them that the way Doge is operating is not how it should be done. A government is not for profit. It's for service. DNR Studios, we start with them later next month. Derek and Romaine, go to dnrstudios.com. Sign up today for some of the other, obviously you can get us without going there, but they've got plenty of other programming that I think you might like. Give it a shot. Jane Stahl, you can reach her by going to Studio BBB, 3 Bs, studiobbb.org, or where she is the co-editor at the Boyertown Area Expression. Go to boyertownareaexpression.town.news. Yesterday, Philip Blackett was sick, but he'll be back this coming Wednesday. You can see him via any of his socials, anywhere you want to be, at Philip Blackett. Matt Deemer, the host of Daily Crypto News, he will be back tomorrow. You can reach him, Matt, at dailycryptonews.net or info@deemerforcongress.com. Blake is the host of The Homeless Conservative. You can reach him at Blake at thehomelessconservative.com or reach all of us at news, NEWZ, at yergz.com. For short show notes and other info, go to yergs.com or mastiff.media. And coming up next, not next, but in an hour from now, and it should be actually on Radio X, for those of you in Perth, should be on Radio X. Go to YouTube, if not on Radio X, or if you want to see the video not on Yerg's Radio, search on YouTube at Para or Normal Guys with a Z, and check out Sportcat's Daily Gazette. But I think that's starting today on Radio X. Scott Browning has been awesome. Radio X has been great to work with. And there goes 99.1. But yeah, and America One Radio probably. But yeah, they've both been great to work with. And we're really excited to be with him. He'll be on at, let's see, what is it? I gotta expand this. Give me a second. At, let's see, at 1 p.m. here. He'll be at 5 a.m. Sydney and Melbourne, 2 a.m. in Perth, 1900 in Berlin, 6 p.m. London, although he's not on, well, I mean, unless maybe you get it on YouTube or Yerg's Radio or his YouTube channel, although we're trying to get him back onto Talk TV 24. Yeah, 6 p.m. in London, 1 p.m. here, 10 a.m. on the West Coast. That's it, gang. I'm running over. Got to stop doing that. I will see you tomorrow for Friday Fights up the middle. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you again.
almost ready to be quiet. Do you like red onion in your salad?
No.
I don't think so. For some reason, I thought